Hi, we're now going to be talking about writing realistic characters. So, first, we should talk about why realism matters. Because literature comments on and enriches our understanding of the world around us, the people we write about it should, of course, seem like real people. Now, in some genres like fairy tales or high romance or fantasy, realism does matter a little less. A character can have fewer flaws or more obvious and clear strengths. It can be more clearly heroic than a character in a realistic novel or short story. So, for most fiction, then, characters shouldn't seem too perfect. Readers want to see themselves in the books they read to a certain extent. This means that characters don't have to be perfect, and they should make decisions and act in a way that people can understand. Now, drawing from real life can be really important. You should be observant and pay attention to the people around you. Writers should be curious about human beings and should approach others with an open mind. Good literature can help you to understand humanity and human society better. Good writers draw from their own experiences, and then they put those observations and those themes onto the page. You should also try to notice nuances and subtleties in how other people behave. Everyone is different, and you should try to be mindful of those distinctions and then work to figure out how character develops in real life. Drawing from literature can also be very helpful. Think about characters in books that you love, or just your favorite characters in general. What do they like and dislike? What drives them? What's happened in their past to shape them? So, as an example from literature, Edith Wharton follows Lily Bart in her personal journey throughout her novel, The House of Mirth. We learn a lot about Lily Bart's family history, her likes and dislikes, her motivations, and her personality. Because she's the protagonist, the readers need to understand her on a pretty deep level. If we were only to know a little bit about her past or her tastes, the book just wouldn't be as compelling. Now we should make a note about dialogue. So, to further capture a character's style and personality, you have to know how they speak. Taking cues from real and fictional speech will help you in writing your own dialogue. You can transcribe real conversations that you hear, and you should also pay close attention to how other writers capture their speaking habits and turns of phrase in their own characters. Some people repeat certain phrases, other people use long, rambling sentences. Diverse speech can help to distinguish your different characters. And though it's true to life, try to refrain from adding too many ums and likes into your dialogue. Some of those can be peppered in to be realistic, but in general, they can slow down the text and really bore a reader. So, planning your characters is very important. It can just be very useful to try to map out and list your characters' traits and certain parts of their personal background and history. You don't really need to go overboard, though. A reader doesn't need to know their favorite colors or books or movies or that kind of thing. Instead of a full outline like this, try to stick to a quick summary or a list about what about them will be really important to the story. You should think about their flaws and their strengths. Think about their relationships to other characters as well. This will really help you to understand how everyone fits into a narrative. So, from a student example, I had a student make a list or map out some important things about her character that she should know going into the story. So, her idea was a story that takes place in ancient China. This character is the protagonist. Her name is Li Mo. She's a girl, a young female person. Her traits are that she's graceful, compassionate, brave, strong, determined, and confident. Her age is like between 13 and 15. Her family background is that she has a musical family, and they played for the emperor for many dynasties. She wrote down her family members. She has an older sister, a mother, a father, a dog, and a wise grandma. Her aspiration is that she wants to be a fighter, and the ultimate conflict of the story is character versus self and character versus society. So let's use this student example, draw from it. This was only meant to be a short 4 to 5 page story, so the character didn't really need to be fleshed out very deeply. The student does a really good job of figuring out what details will be important to the rest of the story. She's listed the character's age, some personality traits, her family background, and her aspirations. Her list provides really great information about who the character is, where she's come from in her history, and what she wants for the future. All of this will help to build just a general narrative arc. And having a rough sketch like this on hand is a really great thing to refer to. It will help to keep you consistent in your writing. just because you'll always know who this character is. Now we should go into some of the limitations of realism. You should always keep in mind that you're not writing about real people. Real people are often contradictory, but consistency matters much more in fiction. If someone in your story is going to do something that seems really out of character, you need to explain why. Whereas sometimes people in real life do some things that you just don't really know how to explain. In fiction, you should try to keep it more understandable. A character is fictional. They just help to enrich and they move a story along. They won't be as dimensional and fully formed as a real person. When you write scenes, remember that the reader only knows as much as they're told, so make what you say about them count.